This is truly a, not that any other beer we make isn't all hands sort of beer, but this is, that's something that starts with an atypical day in the brew house with our brewers doing turbid step mashing. It rides over to True in the middle of the night in a hot tote tank. It gets knocked out into our cool ship where it spends overnight, and then it goes into our puncheon pyramid where it continues to ferment and age for as much as 4 years. This beer, Spontanaheim, is used blending 1 year and 2 year beer. So the average age of this beer in bottle is anywhere from 18 to 22 months. But essentially it is a full spontaneous beer. This is our attempt to make beer of the old world in the old world style without much manipulation once it's actually brewed. All the real manipulation goes on in the brew house, and then once that happens, it's all a nature's thing. So this is very different than any other brewery beer that we tinker around with and try to make better, and they just completely dissect and rebuild as the years go by. This is a beer that we let do its own thing, and we're lucky a year later if there's fruits of our labor. Typical Lambic style beer as far as aromatics go. The aged hops lend to a little bit of cheesy funkiness, so a little bit of blue cheese. There's straw. This being a spontaneous beer, it's built a little bit different and it behaves a little bit different. So this, believe it or not, it's a sour beer, but it's not really sour in comparison to the rest of our beers. So that's how it's different. In a lot of ways, it's the same, and the ways that it shares a kinship with other family of beers, i.e. the Ruse and Train to Beer Soul, and then other spontaneous beers such as Onus Honest that'll come later this year. Is it does have like all of the stone fruit character that you would expect from a Lambic inspired sour beer. So it has a natural stone fruit, sort of peach and apricot, nectarine sort of flavor. This beer is for what seems like a very simple beer, it's very, very complex. And this is a beer that's built to last, it's built to age. If I had 6 bottles of this, I'd be willing to drink one now. I'd probably drink a second one this year, but the other 4 I'd probably lay down for a year, if not, laying a couple of them down for a year and a couple more down for a couple more years. So it's a convoluted way to say that, but I think the beer is age worthy, and it should develop, quite nicely over the next handful of years.